when Nvidia's CEO told the world that the RTX 5070 would deliver RTX 4090 performance for almost 1/3 of the price, I said,
honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. When they announced it, I knew a lot less about computer parts than I do right now, and I believed them. Yes, I am one of those idiots. So I made a video. They're promising 4090 performance. Oh my god! And I was so excited. But then just like 2-3 days afterwards, I was like, you know what? I made a mistake.
But now that it's here, it's clear that I was wrong. I'm seeing it, and yet I don't believe it. This is Cyberpunk running at 4K on our
42
5070,
FPS.
and it is getting
What? Ah.
more FPS than the
There's more to
RTX
it.
4090 that is right beside
Bro,
it.
look at the size difference. Look at this. Here's a monster, and here's a tiny seal. I don't know why I said a seal.
But how many blades is that fan supposed to have? And does my car have extra bumpers?
Impossible without artificial intelligence.
Obviously, the RTX 5070 was never gonna match the 4090's capabilities without a little bit of AI doping. But come on, I was at least hoping that it would beat the RTX 4070 Super in raw power. And yet, in Alan Wake at 1080p, these two cars—
Here's the thing. When I went through the specs and compared them to various cards, they didn't really change anything with the 5070 except for the raw AI compute power. Like that's it. Like that's what you're paying for. I'm pretty sure the 5070 is a bargain if you're using it for a very specific thing. But if you're not, then if you own a 4070 Super, just keep it. But at the same time, by the way, 4070 in my country has never gone down in price. It's just plus minus $50, right? But it's still like $1,000. No, wait, the Super is 1200. Yeah, 1200, and sometimes it goes down to like 1150. Sometimes it goes up to $2,000. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's still there. Yeah, I'm talking about the 4070. I did not misspeak. 4070. So, sorry. So, why did I apologize to... Okay. So, if you can get a 5070 for the... What was it called? MSRP price? $500? That's good. That's great, man. Congratulations. But, I mean, you could just get a B580. Don't know what that car is? Look it up.
1 FPS. Is there anything to be excited about?
Well, yes. In spite of his advancing age, LeBron is actually dunking better than ever.
No, I mean about the RTX 5070.
Sorry. Despite Nvidia's advancing profits, dunking on them is better than ever.
All right, then. Let's get to it. After this layup, to our sponsor.
ThreatLocker. I went to their Zero Trust World event last month where they had some awesome activities and even unveiled a few new advanced features like web control and patch management. Click our link in the description or keep watching to the end of the video to learn more.
I like the rats. The rats is just like 10 seconds. That's it. That's good. That's good.
Since this is currently NVIDIA's entry card for the 50 series, why don't we start with our entry resolution? 1080p with all real frames, no DLSS upscaling, and no ray tracing. And you know what? While we actually did get identical performance to last year's 4070 Super in Alan Wake 2, we did find improvements in some other titles. Black Myth Wukong sees a 5% increase, and we even got a sizable 8% improvement in average FPS in Cyberpunk 2077 and in Returnal. Unfortunately, that's where our good times stop rolling. Because in Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us Part 1, and F1 2024, the 5070 actually loses to the 4070 Super.
It loses to all the bad games.
I need a moment to process this. Okay, I'm good. And now it's time to add insult to injury because not only does it lose to its last-gen counterpart, but in F1, it also loses to AMD's RX 7800 XT, a GPU that launched a year and a half ago for $500 US.
Oh.
What? All right,
500? 7800 XT? No. No. I'm in Sweden, so I'm going to this site. See, I was just looking up 79 XTX. It's for $1,200. You know. 7800 XT. There's no way in hell that it's $500. No way, it's almost 500. Wait, that's crazy. I was not expecting that. I mean, yes, it cost like $80 over. It's like $580. I was not expecting the card to be at $580 in Sweden, because usually when it's like $500 in America, it's usually like 800 in Sweden. So for an example, okay, let's take another example. The new 9070 XT, right? I have it right here. By the way, this is not porn, I promise. Whoop, it's anime. Here we go. No, wait, that's not a real price. 9070 XT. Here we go. This is a real price. Over $1,000 for a 9070. 16 gigs. And it's supposed to perform 2% worse than a 5070, right? So you're telling me that I can get a 7800 for half the price for the same or better performance? Is that what they're telling me? And then even like, I wouldn't even recommend it in that case in good faith, because you could just get the B5080 for like, what, $300? $300? Bro. And that one has 12 gigs. It got better AI performance. Shit.
Linus, maybe. The move to GDDR7, though, is going to help it pull away from the crowd when we kick our resolution into mid-gear. Mid-gear is 1440p.
Oh boy, you guys better be ready for this, because instead of tying in Alan Wake 2 this time, the 5070 wins.
Wow!
By 1 frame per second, the 5070 manages about a 4% improvement over the 4070 Super, though this card was never meant to compete in traditional raster.
All right.
Let's talk more about ray tracing results.
Go.
Let's do, because it turns out when Nvidia uses AMD's Kryptonite and starts tracing rays, the 5070 pulls away from Team Red pretty handily. AI workloads really benefit from lots of VRAM, and the 12 gigs on this card definitely ends up preventing it from being legitimately useful with larger models.
But it's good for AI.
The updated media engine is another bright spot though. The 5070 pulls ahead of the 4070 Ti Super.
You know, I'm not a big fan of this AI fake frame bullshit, but I do think it is the future. Like, I'm pretty sure it is. It's just like the early stages right now, and that's why people hate it, because it's not really the best, you know? There's a lot of flaws. A lot of games are made to be played with ray tracing and all of this bullshit, and without it, it just doesn't function. Like Monster Hunter Wilds, it's just not good. Imagine like in 2030. I think in 2030, we will have some real improvements, both in game development and GPU development, production, whatever.
In DaVinci Resolve, and even gets within striking distance of the 5070 Ti in Premiere Pro. But with that said, if you were thinking, oh sick, well the 5070 is a productivity wunderkind then. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay.
Because in our Blender barbershop test, we are right back to 4070 Super performance.
What a weird card.
Maybe it runs super cool and efficient though?
No.
About that. While the 5070
not.
looks like its bigger Founders Edition brothers, there's one key area here where it loses the genetic lottery. Only one of those two fans in its blow-through design actually blows through the fins and out the other side.
No way.
This resulted in us seeing a 73-degree average in F1 and a 77-degree average in Combustor.
Oh my god.
It's not thermal throttling or anything, But this puppy is getting as hot as the 5090 was, which is a little
way.
surprising given it's using less than half of the power of the
That is
5090.
huge.
It is a much smaller card, making it easier to fit in a small form factor build or something. But just make sure you've got plenty of ventilation so it can stay cool. As cool as you'll look in our new framework hoodie with the all-over embroidery. It's expensive, but it looks cool. LTTstore.com.
Really is cool, isn't it? Oh, you're back. All right, dunking aside, the question is this new card for anyone? And believe it or not, the answer is yes.
Probably.
But it probably isn't you.
Yeah.
It's gamers, which sound like the same thing, but hear me out. See, enthusiasts are gonna peep at pixels. They're gonna obsess over the little details. Whereas gamers, well, they just demand more pixels and higher FPS. And whether you personally like AI upscaling or Nvidia's frame generation technology, which interpolates.
If you think about it, if the base FPS is 27, then we got a problem, right? We don't need 250 FPS. This number would be fine at 144 for like 99% of people, right? Or even 120, but let's say 144. So in my opinion, what's actually the problem is the base performance. So they should ramp up base performance before adding in AI upscaling or AI whatever, you know, or AI frame gen, frame gen. But they have upscaling as well. But anyways, yeah, that's what they should do first and foremost.
There's no doubt that Nvidia has delivered on lots of pixels at high frame rates. And if you enable those features, the 5070 really does match or even beat the raw numbers of last generation's flagship. And most gamers, unless their base frame rate is so low that they notice the sluggish input latency, probably won't care.
Right.
And I guess that's fine. The problem, though, is that not every game supports these magical more FPS buttons. And in unsupported titles, this card is a steaming pile. And the only silver lining is that, I guess by sucking so hard, it probably won't get scalped much.
You mean sucking
so
little?
There is one other silver
Doesn't suck
lining.
at all.
If
Only
you
through
can
one
wait
fan.
about 24 hours. AMD is launching a price competitor to this thing that has 33% more VRAM and on paper, much better performance.
I like the video. Let's see the comments. Got my son a killer 4070 Super Rig for $1,100. That's basically the price of the 4070 Super, 7800 X3D and motherboard alone. Bro, 4070 Super costs more than that alone, where I'm at. If I got the US prices, I would be buying a lot right now. Linus is correct about gamers. They often look just at PC hardware as more dollars equals better. A friend of mine was bragging about his 4090 and 2K monitor. Who buys a monitor for 2K? Then I saw how blurry his game looked. Turned out he was playing at 720p and didn't even know it. He just saw his FPS at crazy numbers and was happy. Oh my god. Pure non-tech oriented gamers don't peep at pixels or run frame time graphs in their top right corner, but even they can tell when their 90 or 120 FPS doesn't feel like 120 FPS from the latency of it. Yes, true, because according to the test, the base frame rate was like 27 FPS, and then with frame gen it was like 245. So 120 FPS would be base frames of like 12. So yeah, you could definitely feel that. Anyways guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.